Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tip Tuesday. Last week we talked, I think it was last week, we talked about the Santa Claus rally. Is it real? And if so, is it significant? And what we discovered is yes, in general, the market does tend to go up in the month of December. I think we looked at like a 12 or 13-year period, and that was the case most of the time. However, the question as to whether or not it was significant, the answer to that most of the time was no. It really wasn't a significant move up in December. So, with that in mind, how should we trade during the holidays? So, I guess before we even answer that question, we should ask, well, do you want to? There's a sense that people are like, well, of course I do. I've got some extra time. So if you're one of those people and you're like, hey, I've got some extra time, my schedule allows it, then just trade like you normally would. That's the first thing is just to say, well, do I want to? And do I have the time? Number two is to answer a question of worth. Is it the value, right? Is it worth it to me? So if I want to go out there and trade, and I'm going to invest the time in this. Is it worth it? I may have stuff going on. I may have family stuff. I may have family over. I may have travel plans. Is it really worth it? Is what I'm going to do worth the time and the effort that I'm going to have to put into this? While I could just be relaxing and kind of getting ready for the new year and just enjoying time with family. So that's a second question. So one, do I have the time? And number two, is it worth it? So when it comes to value, is what I'm going to put into this really worth it? The third thing I would say when trading during the holidays is to kind of assess, well, what do you want to trade, right? So, do you want to do something where you kind of say, well, I'm going to have to monitor this pretty closely um, in this particular strategy, or do you want to say, I'll get into something, but I don't really want to mess with it much. I just kind of want to let it do its thing and then probably be fine, and yet still set my alerts and alarms in case I need to have access to it. So make sure you do have access. Like our family's going on a cruise. The internet on a cruise is really spotty. You can trade on a cruise, but it's pretty tough. So I won't be trading. So for me, I will take that week off. I won't have internet. I'll just be out, and that's fine with me. I do think it is good and healthy to take breaks. So I would encourage you guys to do that, to take some breaks. So if you want to trade during the holidays, great, do it. It's not going to be that different than any other time during the year. However, for some of you, it may be a good idea to kind of take some time, spend it with your family, and just enjoy that, and enjoy the stress of not trading, of not having, to watch your stocks, even though watching your stocks doesn't make them do anything different anyway. But if you're like most of us, you are kind of watching it. You really are paying attention to what it's doing. And unfortunately, for many of us, what the stock is doing can impact how we're feeling. Now, that's something that we're going to talk about here for a little bit. Um, if your trading is negatively impacting you and negatively impacting the people around you, don't trade during the holidays, right? Don't let that negativity about your trading success or lack of trading success at this time impact your attitude and approach to other people. And I know that there have been times when trades didn't go my way and I lost more money than I should have. And I was not really happy about that. It just, it didn't feel good, and I wasn't in a right attitude. And I just saw that I was short with other people. I just wasn't kind of the same way that I normally am. So what I would say to you is, if you have seen in yourself through your time of trading that yes, it does impact me physically, then maybe take a little bit more time off in December. Now, the other side of that coin is, if you're doing well and it's having a positive impact on you, and you think that that's going to continue, well, then great. Then continue trading, continue making sound decisions, get excited, and have a little extra money here for the holidays so that you can be a blessing to your family and other people, and maybe give a little bit more to your church or organizations, whatever you decide you want to do with that. But don't let it impact you negatively. If it's having a positive impact on you, great, and that's cool. So that's what we would really want for it to be. And then sometimes that is the case, and other times it's not. So now let's talk a little bit about what to do when I'm on vacation. Should you trade when you're on vacation? Well, I just mentioned to you earlier, I have a strong tendency to not trade when I'm on vacation. I don't like to really be distracted. I don't really, it's not necessarily hard to monitor your stocks. There's so many different things available to you, apps on your phone. You can get alerts and alarms. You can watch, these little apps, and they'll just tell you what your price is. So as long as you kind of know where you should be, of course, then you have the ability to go in there and set physical stop losses, automated stop losses on your orders. If you wanted to, you could set a limit order to sell. Now, most brokers don't allow you to do an OCO, which stands for one cancels the other. In that case, you would be able to set a stop and a sell limit. So in other words, if the stock dropped down and reached a certain price and you needed to stop out, it would trigger that order and allow you to get out of that trade. Or if the stock went up to a higher price where you had set as a target price, then that limit order there would trigger, and it would sell you at the higher price and then cancel the other one. So whenever one of those was executed, it would cancel the other one. Now, that would be pretty fantastic if brokers had that readily available, but I'll just go ahead and let you know, most brokers do not have OCO orders. One cancels the other. So you would have to pick, do I want to have a limit order to sell at the higher target price here, or do I want to have a stop loss to stop losing because the trade is going the opposite direction? And I would think for most people, having the stop loss would be more important than hitting their sell order. If you hit your sell order and then it starts to fall, that's more of a thing where you can kind of wade through that a little bit with just simply monitoring a little bit, getting your alerts and your alarms through some kind of app on your phone. So it's not like it's impossible to trade. And again, I would kind of ask some of the same questions there. Is it going to impact you in a positive or negative way emotionally? Is it going to impact the way that you're dealing with other people? If so, are you going to be distracted by it? Are you not going to be present? Because one of the things you need to be on vacation is present with people around you, particularly if it's your spouse or family members. Be there. Don't let your mind wander, when there's stocks doing and all that stuff. You can take some time for that, outside of that, but don't be sitting there on your phone. Now, are there times when I have traded? Yeah, I remember I've been in line at Six Flags and made a trade on my phone while I was just sitting there in line. I remember being on a ski lift. I pulled out my phone. I had to be a little careful. I've got those clunky gloves, so you got to pull your gloves off, and stuff. But just checking out my stock, seeing what it was doing when I was in a trade when we were on a ski trip one time. So can you trade? Sure, absolutely. Again, you would use the same kind of things to monitor that. You would certainly want to, consider having automated orders established there so that you have less time to really think about it and be invested in the trade. But certainly you can, guys. And what I would say to you is just be real honest, and then maybe ask somebody around you, is trading impacting me in a negative way at this time? And if that's the case, then maybe take some time during the holidays and particularly on vacation and just simply don't trade. The market will still be here when you get back. Opportunities will still be here when you get back. Will you miss something? Probably. But do you miss something every week, even when you're trading? Yes. All right. So taking some time off for the holidays, taking some time off for vacation, Not a big deal. In fact, I would say it's a really positive thing, particularly if you're planning on trading for a really, really, really long time. It's good to take breaks. You may really enjoy your work, but it's good to take breaks. Right? I mean, here at Tradeway, we're going to have a break here in a couple of weeks, uh, and I'm excited about it. I've got some vacations planned for next year. I won't be doing Tradeway stuff while I'm gone. Right? Will I trade? I don't know. Probably not. But I like breaks. Right? Breaks are good. Working is good. Taking breaks is good. And trading is one of those things. I mean, it is a bit like a job. It is a hobby to some people. Some people, it's an actual job. But you need to take breaks from it. Healthy breaks. It's good. It's healthy, right? To take breaks, to rest. So take some time to do that. So whether it's like coming up during the holidays or whether it's just sometime during the year when you just need to step away, don't ever hesitate to take a break and understand that there is value in going on vacation and stepping away from trading for a bit. So in conclusion, guys, trading during the holidays, a lot like trading other times. You're going to see similar volume for the most part. It may tail off as we get closer to the end of December. You will certainly anticipate seeing volume be less, but the patterns are still going to be doing what they're doing most of the time. The market is still going to be responding as it normally responds, and you still have the ability to trade as you normally would. When it comes to vacation, I would really encourage you to not trade while you're on vacation. I just think it can be a distraction, and it's just good to get away. So trading during the holidays, you want to do it, good, go for it. And the last thing I'll say here too is trading during the holidays may be a good time if you can focus on it and you can reset and get the results that you want to really kind of propel you forward into what you think you're capable of doing next year. So you may look at it as a challenge, say, what can I do in December? And what does that look like? And how can that kind of make me think, here's what I'm capable of doing as I move out into 2023. So for a lot of people, that may be your goal to say, well, how well can I do this month? And then what would that look like as I move forward if I can do similar things? So, whatever you guys decide to do, make wise choices. Be aware of how trading is impacting you, and then have somebody that's going to be honest with you about that. So, if you can't sit in yourself, have somebody else let you know. And then when you go on vacation, go ahead and take a break. Unless you're just in a long-term buy and hold position where you're not really going to care that much, you're probably going to look at it every now and then go ahead and take a break and enjoy that time off. Guys, that's our tip for today. I guess 2 tips for today, maybe a few more tossed in there as well. But thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.